Hi, this is Dr. Graves from the CSUN Geography Department, and this is a video tutorial to help viewers learn how to download data from the new census data website and then use that data in Microsoft Excel in a pivot table so that we may perform some calculations related to an analysis of, say, food deserts and food swamps across the United States. So let's go ahead and get started. What you want to type is in a search box is census data, and that should take you to this website, Data at the Census Bureau, and then click on go to data.census.gov. First thing you want to click on is Advanced Search, which brings up this searchable index of tables where you can filter down what you want. The first thing that I think you should click on is Surveys, and scroll down until you find the Annual Business Patterns zip code file. So this one here. Make sure it says zip code and not county. Okay, and click on years, and for this year we'll just select 2018 because that's the most recent. And then for the geography, this gets a little tricky because what you would normally do is say, oh, 5-digit zip code tabulation area, that's what I'm looking for. But in an extremely unhelpful way, the Census Bureau has added a second type of census or zip code. The 5-digit zip code is the one that's associated with the data that we're looking for. The tabulation area is more associated with the census itself rather than the business patterns data that we're looking for. So click on that. And notice here that it says that no results are found. This is clearly a glitch, and there's multiple ones in this. So what I did was went back to years, unchecked, and checked 2017, went to the geography, and look, there it appeared. I don't understand why this happens the way it is, but the 2018 data is clearly available because I've downloaded it before. So what we're going to do is just select all 5-digit zip codes. We will download the data and then within Excel narrow it down to specific areas that we would like. And then the last thing we need to do is to select the codes, the industry codes, and we're going to select 3 different codes from the list. And again, this interface is a little bit glitchy, doesn't do what it's supposed to do all the time. So cross your fingers and hopefully I will be able to show you what's supposed to happen. So click on the industry codes. It's a replacement for the old SIC codes. I will call these NAICS codes. The first code we want to select is 00, and that's all businesses in all categories. So that's sort of our baseline. And next, scroll down and select retail trade, and then select from that list food and beverage stores, and from that list grocery stores, and from that list supermarkets and other grocery stores except convenience stores. So we want this code or that code. They are the same, 445110. So once we have that, then return back to this column of options and select convenience stores. And convenience stores once again, 445120. We want to uncheck that so that we just have this 6-digit one. That indicates a very specific type of business. So those are 3. I wanted to add one more to this list because I think it may be of interest to multiple groups. So go to Accommodations and Food from this 2-digit code list. Select on Accommodations and Food, select on 722 food services, and then restaurants and other eating places, and keep going across until you can select limited service restaurants. And these are fast food places, 722513. So that's the 6-digit code. And that has been added to that. So now just click search, and this window opens, and from there click view all tables. Now, of course, this table includes all zip codes in the United States, and in many instances 4 or 5 rows of data per business. So it is rather large. So just click download table. CSV file is the correct. That stands for comma separated values, and the native format for that is on most computers is at Microsoft Excel will open it. 8.5 megabytes. So that's large, but not terribly large. Download. And if all goes well, this will take about 30 seconds. And I'm going to pause. Well, I waited for a while and nothing happened with the 2017 data, so I replaced it with 2018, and after a minute or so it actually did work. It's entirely too slow, and I would not wait a long time if I were you if it's not happening. So I click download now, and then it asks me where do I want to download that. I'm saving it in the downloads folder. And I've already done this once, so this should replace the one that was there. Down in the lower left-hand corner, notice that there is the download indicator, and after just a second or so, it has fully downloaded, and I can click once to open that zipped folder. Now, I don't have to extract it if I don't want, as these two files are mostly metadata. They're sort of helper files that help me understand the top file, which is the one you want, the one that has the largest amount of data in it. Most of the time, it's pretty easy to figure out what it is. So double click on that and it will open in Microsoft Excel. The first thing you want to do is to go to File and Save As, because this is a CSV file and you really don't want that to remain that way. So pick a folder and hopefully it opens, and change that to an Excel workbook, and I'm going to call this US Zip County Business Pattern Data 2018, and that is C stores, grocery, fast food. Click Save. Okay, we have a couple of things that we want to immediately do with this data. The first of these things is that we will get rid of row 2. Click on 2, click on Delete. It's a redundant row of data. I'm going to expand these 2 rows of data. The first columns, A and C, have zip code data, but it is a little less useful than we want. So watch closely. I'm going to press Control Shift and down arrow to highlight these 221,000 rows of data. You don't want to scroll. You want to press Control Shift and down arrow, then Control C to copy, and then just an up arrow puts me back at cell B1. Paste that data here and highlight it once again. Then I'm going to click on the Data tab, click on Text Columns, and in this wizard, select Fixed Width, click Next. In the second window, click your mouse right after the letter S. Click Next. For this first column, tell it to do not import, because this is extraneous data and we don't need it. For the second column that it's going to break into, select Text and then select Finish. Now what we have in column B are zip codes. So type in zip, GOID, zip, and then the name of the zip. Okay, so we're getting close to being ready for what we want to do. There is still another little trick that I would like to show you. I'm going to click on the letter C here, and I want to click back on Home and Insert to add a new column. And then we will call this Select. What we want to do is create some indicators of perhaps some special subset of zip codes that we would want to use. So I'm going to Control Shift and then down arrow my zip codes to highlight just those, and then I'm going to press Control F to find the zip codes that I want. And the zip codes that I want are the 913 series. So I want to go to 91301, which is the first of those. Click Find Next. And then I'm going to put an X next to that first of those that I want. I'm going to highlight down again and now look for 91401. And that finds 91401. And so I'm going to navigate one cell over and then one cell up and put another X. So that's the last of the 913 zip codes. I'm going to press Control C to copy that X and go all the way up to the 9130. Now I have all the 913s indicated in a new row, and so then I could, these are the ones that I want later. So I'm going to go back up to the top here. I can make this a little skinnier. If you want to double click between these little lines between the letters, and that will minimize or optimize the column width. So this last few steps is just dealing with this in a pivot table. So I'm going to press Control A, which highlights the entire block of data. Select from the Insert tab, Pivot Table. Click OK. It's going to make a new sheet, Sheet 1. And what we want to do is to, the first step is to pull the zip code, click and drag it down into the zips. So we've got our zip codes again. And then click and drag establishments down into the sum value window. And that looks about right for now. And then what we want to do is to make the NAICS label. We're going to drag that into the columns. So now we have, for each of these zip codes that are in rows, we have the count of convenience stores, fast food restaurants, and supermarkets in each of those zip codes. And then the grand total over, now here, total for all sectors, that's 0, 0. This is all the businesses. So we've got 4 good columns of data, and then this one is inaccurate because it's adding up these columns here in a way that double counts everything in columns B, C, and D. And then the last thing that we might want to do here is to take our select column and put it here as a filter. Now, from there, if we go back here to here, it's in the filter box now, and we can go either here or over here and tell it to just select those zip codes with an X. So if we do that and click OK, now we have only the data from the 913 group of zip codes, which are largely Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley. From here, mostly what you would want to do is to grab this data, copy it, and perhaps put it in a new window or a new sheet if you want. There's a new sheet. And make sure you paste values. And now you just have the data ready for analysis. And that is the end of this video tutorial.